Entertaining in the summer is so fun because there are so many gorgeous fruits and vegetables in season. And the colours are wonderful too, like these gorgeous raspberries that are, bursting with juiciness and sweetness. I love them with Pavlova, that crispiness on the outside and the gooiness on the inside with those juicy raspberries. And then made extra special with Kerrygold Irish cream liqueur, folded through the cream filling. Oh, amazing. Come on, join me in the kitchen for CLODAGH'S Summer Suppers. Welcome into my kitchen for the raspberry coffee pavlova with Kerrygold Irish cream. We'll need some eggs, some cornstarch, coffee extract, white wine vinegar and caster sugar or superfine sugar, some lovely fresh raspberries, you could use frozen too, granulated sugar, hazelnuts, Kerrygold Irish cream liqueur and cream as well. So the first thing I need to do is make my raspberry syrup, which is really simple to make. So you get a medium-sized saucepan on the heat, and then I put about a cup of raspberries in here. The exact recipe is in the link below. A tablespoon of granulated sugar. On a low heat, just give it a stir. And we're going to let them cook for about 5 minutes. But we want to keep coming back to stir it every once in a while. If you wanted to make a syrup that you were going to pour over ice cream or something, you'd add some water to it then. Or you could add actually in some, nice liqueur into it too if you wanted to. But I want this thick because I'm actually going to fold it through the meringue mixture to get that raspberry ripple effect. So I'm not adding any water to it. So while my raspberry syrup is cooking, I'm going to make the meringue. So the first thing you want to do is separate your eggs. So I'm just using egg whites, and then the egg yolks I can save and make aioli or mayonnaise. Oh, I've got a double yolk. That's really good luck, supposedly. My wish is to have sunshine during the summer in Ireland. I'm using raspberries here, but you could do the exact same recipe and you could use, strawberries if you want to. You could use blueberries, which would look really beautiful too. So my raspberry syrup has been cooking for, 5 minutes. The smell of it is gorgeous. So next I want it to cool completely, but I'm also going to drain it through a sieve because I don't want any of the pits in it. So you're holding back all the seeds, but getting through all the lovely raspberry syrup. And then we're left with the syrup that I'm going to set aside to cool. So in my meringue, there's a little shell, which happens all the time. And I'm going to show you a trick on how to get the shell out. So you use half of your eggshell like this, you dip it in, and it attracts it like a magnet. Haha! Nice tip, right? You can do that with the egg yolk as well if there's little bits of egg yolk in there. You want to make sure when you're making meringue that I usually use a stainless steel bowl, and you need to make sure it's completely dry and that also it's completely clean. If it isn't, you won't get that soft, stiff peak that you need for making your pavlovas or your meringues. So in goes my egg whites. I've got 3 egg whites in here. The exact recipe is in the link below. I want to whisk it until it gets pretty stiff, and then I'm going to start adding in my caster sugar. So then I'm going to start adding in my caster sugar or superfine sugar, bit by bit. So you want to keep whisking it until you get a very stiff peak. So, like that. I'm going to add in vinegar and cornstarch. And what this does, the vinegar gives that lovely crisp that we love on the outside of the pavlova. And the corn flour gives that nice gooey texture in the middle. So I'm putting in 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and then 2 teaspoons of white wine vinegar. I need to mix them around until you get a paste. And then just pour this into your pavlova mixture. And then just mix the cornstarch and vinegar mixture through your pavlova. And then I'm going to put in some coffee extract. love the smell of coffee. So when I'm making a pavlova like this, I line it with greaseproof paper or baking sheet. What I do with my brush is I just take a little bit of the pavlova mixture and I put a little bit there, a little bit there, there, and there, and it acts like as a glue to stop the baking paper or the greaseproof paper from flying up when it goes into the oven. You get your paper, pop it down onto your tray, and then get it stuck down with my Pavlova glue. It really acts great actually. See how it just sticks down? So next is the raspberry ripple effect. I love this, it adds such gorgeous colour. So I'm going to take a little bit first, just pour it over. Next I'm going to tumble this on, and then I'm going to add the raspberry ripple again onto this. So I can already smell the raspberry and the coffee flavours. But I want this to be quite sloppy. You know, I don't want this to be, you know, like kind of perfectly shaped. I want kind of like waves and ridges, and because it just creates quite like a beautiful wow effect when you've got all of these lovely waves coming out. So just scoop from the centre and build yourself a nice nest-like shape. So get your knife like that, and then just trail it through. What else would you be doing with your life? I mean, how gorgeous is it to make something like this? And some people say that, you know, cooking is stressful, or, you know, baking is stressful. You know, really isn't. Raspberry ripple and coffee pavlova ready for the oven, even though I really don't want it to go anywhere because I just want to stare at it. It's so pretty. So I'm leaving my lovely pavlova in the oven at gas mark 1 for an hour and a half, but you can have a look at the recipe in the link below. So my coffee and raspberry ripple pavlova has baked for an hour and a half in gas mark 1, and then I've opened the door just to allow it cool completely. While that is happening, I'm going to whip up my cream to make my Kerrygold Irish Cream Liqueur cream, which I'm also going to add chopped hazelnuts into it. So in goes your cream. While that's whisking, I'm going to roast up my hazelnuts on a dry pan over a high heat, and then I'm just going to chop them up and fold them through the cream. And I'm going to add in a little bit of icing sugar or confectioner sugar into the whipped cream. What that does is it gives it a lovely gloss, and it also helps it hold, like, so it stands up nicely when you put it on a pavlova. So toss your hazelnuts when you're dry pan roasting them. The reason why I always roast any nuts that I'm using or any seeds I'm using, that the minute you put heat on nuts or seeds, it releases the oils, and so you get much more flavour from them. I'm going to show you a trick on how to smash up your hazelnuts without having to painstakingly chop every one. You get your toasted hazelnuts and just drizzle them along a clean tea towel like so. You fold it over like this, and then with the back of a knife, or you could do it with a rolling pin. So fold down the tea towel at the side like this, and it'll stop the hazelnuts from popping out at the side. So again, let's have a peek. Voila, magic! In go my hazelnuts. Keeping a few back for the top. So let me get my pavlova that is completely cooled now. Doesn't it look gorgeous? It's like crispy and then gooey on the inside. So the next thing I'm going to do before I start assembling everything is actually make my Kerrygold Irish Liqueur cream. Pour in some of the Kerrygold Irish Cream Liqueur, which has got coffee flavours and chocolate flavours in it, and gorgeous cream. Fold it all the way through the hazelnut cream until it's completely even like that. Give it a little taste. Woo. Oh, Damn, that's good. Oh, coffee flavors and chocolate flavors from the liqueur and hazelnut, that lovely crunchy taste of hazelnut. Okay, so my pavlova, I'm gonna remove from here and pop on here, and then we're gonna put the cream on top. And then, this is a floppy, messy kind of dessert, which also looks super wow. Oh, gorgeous. And then just spread the cream out. And then next, I've got some fresh raspberries. Luscious and juicy and crispy. I mean, doesn't that look so gorgeous? During the autumn and the winter months, you could use blackberries with this and do the exact same way I did it. Or you could use blueberries, would be beautiful too, or strawberries. And I've reserved some of that lovely raspberry syrup that I made earlier on for the pavlova. And then lastly, hazelnuts. So voila! Here is my coffee and raspberry pavlova with Kerrygold Irish cream liqueur. You'll find the recipe, as I said, in the link below. And if you can subscribe by clicking, and I'll see you next Thursday. Let me know if there's anything special you'd like me to cook for you then. Enjoy the week.